I wanted to talk about this paper today on perseverance. Also, this awesome document that Jet wrote. I've experienced the criminal justice system this year in a big way, which has had me upset at various times. Feeling not cared about, feeling misheard. This document's already been sent out to everybody I know. I encourage them to read it. This document has also been sent out to everybody I know in the form of 2 links. A link to this thing and a link to another. It's my one cigarette these days. One. I'm not going to read Jet's entire document regarding how drug abuse is mistreated in the United States by the criminal justice system instead of treated as the healthcare issue it is, mental health. He also wrote, and I already put it up somewhere, but a statement for me to read. So much effort went into making my life like so much easier. I have several new friends. Rachel, Jessica, Chet, my father, Gloria Holiday, Kendra, me and my mother's cousin up in Canada. She doesn't talk to my mother anymore. Perseveration in psychology: causes, types, and treatment approaches. Now, basically, what my dad told me today is my mom's severe perseveration due to her brain injuries has caused me to perseverate, ruminate on the same things over and over again, all day, every day. Not being able to see my kids, the interference of lawyers, and just a recounting of the year's events. So my perseveration, or being a broken record, and looking for compassion and understanding by talking to random people or therapists or people I know, and looking for affirmation that my outlandish behaviors make sense in terms of the trauma that I've undergone since my mother became involved in my life. No, I mean, the trauma goes back. I mean, technically it goes back to my sister's passing away. And then the resulting events. Namely, I went to the mental hospital for about 3 days. My best friend Cody kind of checked out of my life prior to that. And then my relationship fell apart. And then the court and Allie's lawyer became my family therapist. And it's hard to sort out if that was detrimental or educational. I learned a lot about myself. Reconnecting with new and old friends. Gloria's been a mother figure for 20 years. This woman, Rita, that I met, she invited me to go to church today, but Paul and Sabine are only here for one more day. I opted not to. The church also has a political bent to it, which I don't want to deal with. On either side. I haven't voted for a hot minute because in either of the past 3 presidential elections, or 2 since I had kids, I did not like either option. I vote. I did vote for Obama. I don't remember the exact series of events. I was excited that Bernie Sanders might win. Ultimately, like, as I look at my past 43 years of life, I see that, like, no Democrat, no Republican has actually, like, changed anything for the better. Specifically when it comes to foreign and domestic wars and the quality of the U.S. justice system and actually achieving recidivism, which is people not getting like recycled through the jail system for profit. Took me like 6 months to get my bail check back for the DUI, where I was found not to be DUI. And during that time, like mine and others' bail money is just sitting there gaining interest for somebody. And I couldn't just return it to the card that I put it on. So right now I'm doing what I was talking about, perseveration. Talking about the same shit over and over. I intended to make one of these like way back in the winter. I did it. Boo! Super glue. Do-do-do-do-do-do. To me, that's the kind of flag that should be flown. Like, years ago, my kids and their mom and our friend Candace and others did the Pride Parade in Big Sky in June, and like I seen it, like all the construction workers were coming down from their jobs, flipping off my kids and everybody else. For what? Like, for supporting people like me that aren't straight? Like, what's the big deal? There's plenty of people in, religious institutions, politics. There's documented cases where various people, like, either abused women or children and use their positions of power to get away with it and use their connections to get away with it. See, that's perseverance as well. So, perseveration in psychology is the involuntary repetition of a thought, word, or action long after it stopped being useful or relevant. I don't see how my repetition of talking about these things is not relevant. Useful? Yeah, seems not to be useful. Because even when the person clearly wants to stop, I don't want to stop, but I will if it benefits my quest to see my children. It's not stubbornness and it's not a habit. It shows up across a surprisingly wide range of conditions, from autism to OCD to stroke recovery and dementia. Traumatic brain injuries, like my mom has. And in my case, trauma and anxiety / stress. The stress of not being able to see my kids, of being accused of being mentally unwell when doctors find me to be mentally well. The like outside forces, the condition where my 2 lawyers and I are at an impasse. And there's like even more money involved in accomplishing very basic things. And then perseveration that I suffer because I do not understand what my old friend Cody is thinking. When he sent me like 3 messages, like, if you're going to be this way, you can't be in my life. He sent me another message, like, that his sister just wanted this legal stuff to be over And it sent me another message that I should go to the mental hospital when I did not need to. One of these areas like that's interesting to me is my dad highlighted lots of stuff in here. Applies to me and others, but when perseveration appears in autism, it causes somebody to like have tics that they get comfort from, whether it's like, for me, it'd be like skin picking, things that comfort me. Because this is my one birthday present. Like, this has been with me since February 16th. Around the same time I got my kid's old stuffy, that like giant bear that I snuggle with, sleep with, and gain comfort from. So there's this, that other thing, more Pikachu paraphernalia. Like, Pokemon and Pikachu has been like a very comforting thing that brings me joy, humor. Just kind of came about, random birthday present that I greatly appreciate from Derek. He gave me some boots, comfy, cozy boots, and some this thingy. I don't remember what else, but that was at a time where things were particularly difficult between me and my mother, and my confusion about why my life fell apart and who was responsible besides me. That's one thing that the aforementioned people helped me realize, that even though certain people were telling me it was like, yeah, I need to take accountability, that it's all my fault. And then I did. I'm like, I see where I went wrong, as I was telling other people they need to take accountability. And getting like no accountability on their part. I'm like, it ain't all me. My new friends this year, Gloria, old friends, have slowly convinced me, and therapists. When my therapist brought up the term coercive domestic control, like, that was very telling. It was me. It wasn't me being coercively domestic controlling. It was her telling me that she was like traumatized because there was a cigarette butt on the lawn, even though she would ask me to roll her and her friend Ken a cigarette. Felt unfair, is unfair, was unfair. It's been so long, but I do like pretty acutely remember the mother of my kids saying things like, I need to do this alone so I can prepare for you, me, to commit suicide like my sister did. As I talk to people about this, they're like, yikes. Like, being compared to my sister, it's been grossly, grossly inappropriate this whole time. My father's seen it. Rachel saw it. Jet saw it. James. Therapists. Doctors. And my mother claimed at several points, and she refutes this, even though that, like, my father in particular heard it. And I've heard it, and I've heard her, like, backtrack and be like, I never said that. So that interaction, especially post January 1st, anytime my mother got involved in my life, it'd be extraordinarily bad. She would say, she sent out emails, she would offer financial help and then revoke it. Got to the point that she legally harassed me when I was in Texas by continuing to send me text messages when I specifically told her that it is unacceptable and I cannot, do not send me more messages. And then she kept going, like, and that's what she does, like, and it's very like, I cannot talk to her on the phone because I cannot say more than like 3 words without her going like, she cannot listen. I can. So, yeah, Pikachu costume and yellow objects. I can't bend my, like, it's like, yeah, I was brought up autism and perseverance. Like Allie, said at various points over the years that I act autistic. Like, I don't. Well, maybe I do in some ways. Like, I've got these things that bring me comfort, but so does everybody else. Like, I know various people with what's considered high functioning autism, old friends and a new friend. I don't know. Maybe that's my like diagnostics. Like we use language to put things in boxes so we can understand them. Psychology, psychiatry does that same thing, and they try to put people in boxes, medicate them, understand them. Like, my father doesn't think any kind of medication is useful, but I do. I take my one pill every day that makes me be not depressed, even though specifically in 2026, my mother's actions could have made me extraordinarily depressed, but I took my medication the whole time. No mania, no depression, which was awesome. So my mother could have driven me to suicide with her shit. And it is shit. Perseverance also applies to OCD. Obsessive compulsive disorder. Me and Allie talked a lot about her childhood. I blasted out too much information about her childhood when I was mad at her father for being neglectful. Like, her father, the way she talked about it, her father basically abandoned his kids with Tori Andress as soon as he remarried Lisa. And then I got in trouble for making a threat of violence to him. I think I got in more trouble by like airing all the dirty laundry that Allie told me. I'm sorry. I am. That was a reaction to feeling wronged. So, autism, OCD, stroke recovery, and dementia. And brain injury, as in traumatic brain injuries. Now, Allie displayed symptoms of obsessive compulsive disorder. She would bring up the fact that her mother was like very loosey goosey about how she raised the kids, and that she was the opposite. So she would take extraordinarily good care of our kids. I'm sure she still does, to a fault. Like, I would say, like, why do we live in a museum? Like, no toys left out, no nothing. And other stuff she said to me is that, like, it's her job to, she's the chef of the house and I'm the chef of the restaurant. So I get to make all the restaurant decisions and she gets to make all the home decisions. And now that's obviously the case. I can't even communicate with her or the kids. Even third party, I can't call the hospital in Big Sky without breaking the law. Which is wild to me. And, you know, I've obeyed all laws to the best of my ability since my first time being taken to jail, when I knowingly broke a order of protection and asked for a 4-digit PIN sent to Allie's number that would allow me to keep my old phone number, 406-640-2130. It frustrated me greatly that my lawyer, Allie's lawyer, would not effectuate that. And this has been an ongoing point of both confusion and anger, anxiety is like nothing coming down from the other way, even though I paid rent post separation for as many months as I could and did the best I could. So it's like I wonder if she's suffering a form of perseveration as well. Like stubbornness, not a habit, not stubbornness, but like an inability to move on. Much like I can't easily move on from not being able to see my kids, especially when I hear news from the lawyers that I might not be able to see them until they're 18. Like that's not appropriate or cool. And there's the financial cost of all this, all the lawyers. Like after that first arrest, I certainly wasn't expecting any of the other arrests at all. Like it was either accidental breaking of the no contact order or a time when I was arrested for obstruction of justice when I didn't even know I was being placed under arrest. Very expensive lawyer fees. Still no resolution. I have to read my father's summary of how our lawyer meeting went the other day with my old therapist. I worked very hard at releasing information from my psychiatrist, Kathleen, and her, like, the way the hospital works at Bozeman Deaconess is she's, like, literally not able to write a letter to the court. Like, what? So I thought, like, throughout this process, I've thought I've had, like, workarounds, specifically through releases of information from doctors or therapists or communications, not with Allie, but with Cody, who used to be what I considered my best friend. Anytime he was in trouble over the years, I'd go out of my way to take care of him. And it was the same for all my cooks and Big Sky. I'd go out of the way to take care of them. And then I sit here feeling completely abandoned by the people that I feel like I did so much for. And I perseverate on that. It's the anxiety, confusion, not being able to understand why this happened. My name is Alec, and I've seen how our justice system fails people who desperately need help. I don't desperately need help. People who are addicted to things like methamphetamine or fentanyl, they desperately need help. And they want help, and it's not provided by the U.S. justice system. I mean, I was seeing in the document Jet wrote, incarceration for addiction does not make communities safer. It makes tragedies inevitable. Behind bars, almost no one gets the continuous treatment they need. And in my case, it's pretty minor, but the times I went to jail, particularly over the weekend, the third time, like, there was no nurse on duty. They couldn't give me my medication to stabilize my mood. And they would not give me or any other inmates medication that we were prescribed to help us sleep. Why? Studies show ex-prisoners with opioid histories are 40 to 129 times more likely to overdose in the first 2 weeks out of jail. That's because their tolerance is gone. And without medications, they relapse fatally. I went to jail when I was like 23, The judge sentenced me to extra time because I said in the state of Utah that I thought marijuana should be decriminalized. I said that to a probation person, and then that made its way to the judge, and then he sentenced me to extra time for my what I see as my expression via freedom of speech. That didn't and does not seem right. Jet found that in my fourth arrest that resulted in a visit to the hospital, the police sheriff's department was trying to put me on a 3-day psychiatric hold, and the ER doctor found me to be completely functional, healthy. They took a bunch of blood, found that I was not on drugs as accused by one of the police officers, etc. So in any case, like, my situation is relatively minor compared to what I've seen in the past and this year in other people's care in jail, which is lacking. Recidivism in the United States is very high, like 50%, 39 to 50% of inmates that are innocent until proven guilty return within 3 years to jail. I don't plan on being a part of that statistic. I've obeyed all laws to the best of my ability. Recently, I got 2 citations for not having a rear license plate sticker or a front license plate, which is against the law. So I fixed it immediately. I don't want to be in trouble. I don't want others to be in trouble either. Like, it's very hard to deal with the court system. There's no email. Everything is done through either in person or by filling out paperwork with a pen or pencil and mailing it. Like my mail in Big Sky, trying to obtain my mail and my $2,000 bond check for the DUI, where I was found not to be DUI. That was like a 6-month process, trying to forward my mail to either Texas or Escalona, Utah. And the postmasters would say 10 to 14 days. It would never show up. And then I'm told here by the postmaster it can take up to 28 days. And it's confusing. It's like, why? Like, just send the mail. I got my bail check, bond check, and I don't think I need the other mail because it's court paperwork or other paperwork that anything important is being sent here now. I'm just reading this document about incarceration versus treatment policy outcomes. The quality of the information I received from him is beyond the pale. The quality of the empathy, compassion, understanding I received from him is beyond the pale. I can't think of anybody in my life ever that has been that understanding. Hence, I have a new family member. Awesome. Right now, I have 2 mother figures in my life. Almost went to church today with Rita, who claims to be friends with various politicians. I almost went, but I wanted to spend. Paul and Sabine and Cyril are leaving tomorrow, so I wanted to spend this day with them. Perseveration. Highly applicable to a lot of people in my life, including myself. I don't have traumatic brain injuries. Maybe I'm slightly autistic. I don't have ADHD. I don't have OCD. I do have anxiety. Environmental stress makes it worse. Anxiety, unfamiliar situations, and cognitive overload all increase the odds of getting stuck, likely because the brain defaults to a familiar, well-worn response when it doesn't have the resources to generate something new. I am doing my best not to think about the fact that my mother's directly responsible for this situation in a large part, and fully responsible for a lot of things, important things. So I mean, I would like to be able to go back to Big Sky and reconnect with people, reestablish myself. I don't ever want to go to Ogden, Utah again, unless she fixes that. She caused it, she's got to fix it. But she can't acknowledge that she caused it because she, as my father said, and I see, makes stuff up, can't remember what happened 2 days ago, or 2 months ago, or 8 months ago. She has a very good long-term memory and remembers like stories from my early childhood. I remembered a lot of stories from my early childhood this year, which was awesome. At various times throughout the year, I felt like, I had to figure life out again. And in certain ways, I felt not like a kid again, but like I had to as a 43-year-old, I had to refigure out a lot of stuff. Namely, what I want out of a relationship, and now I know what that is. Intimate relationship. Don't know who it's going to be ultimately, but I know exactly what I seek. And I know that better than I did the past 10 years. Well, that, like seeking, I dated, formed various intimate relationships, like two in particular. And I put that aside now to focus on myself and focus on my priorities, which are stable housing. Thank you, Suzanne, for offering that and then revoking it. That helped a lot. And reconnecting with the people I care about. And so all year I kind of like perseverate on this and try to, excuse me, go sailing, spend time outdoors, hiking, thinking about things. Invited some Mormon missionaries to come talk to me at one point. That was fantastic. I told them I was not going to convert to Mormonism before they came out, and that was fine. They still gave me a Book of Mormon, which I pressed flowers into, which was cool. Things I cherish: the Pikachu suit, gifts given to me this year, Pikachu suit, seashells, cologne, or perfume. I don't know. It's just awesome. Everybody loves it around here. And then these are my son's swim goggles that I was desperately trying to legally get back to him, but it did not work still, which is funny, confusing, and was like terrifyingly confusing and anxiety provoking early on. I don't know where this guy came from, but Jesus loves you. And then banana, which is yellow, or Pokemon stuff. This one is Maractus. Reminds me of Cactuar from Final Fantasy. And then my own collection of shells and rocks gathered throughout the year that are destined for my various new and old friends. it's like 7 or 8 people. And I know which ones are going where. Don't know when they're going there. Eventually. They say time heals all wounds. Is it true? I don't know. I've been wanting to make one of these all year. Boop. Finally did it. I got these in Provincetown. And a yellow hat with ducks on it. Provincetown was a lot of fun. All the people I met there were healthy, cool, non-judgmental. The only states I've really had any trouble in are Montana. I want to be able to feel comfortable going back there. That's where my kids are. This stuff has to resolve first. I'm not a bad person. I've never hurt anybody. I've only helped people. No, of course I've hurt people. Yeah, I'm sure I hurt Cody and his family by saying awful stuff when I was in distress. Not understanding why. I still don't understand why, like, a sense of loneliness I felt this year, abandonment. Okay, let's see what we got here. These are yellow dice, also from Provincetown. Okay. No, I can't even tell. It's not a level surface. 7. Lucky number 7. 6, 7. No, I can't. There's not a 7 on the dice. What Paul called the Fortnite car is awesome. It's got a new sticker from the restaurant Kung Fu Dumplings in Provincetown. They made their own dough. They were cool. I've been there 12 years. I highly recommend. Kung Fu Dumpling, Provincetown, Massachusetts. The other term I brought up several times this year is limerence, perseverance. Limerence is an obsessive, unhealthy form of love that I believe Allie and I both, just dived right into. And we talked about codependence early on and the fact that she had never lived alone in her adult life. Perseverance means continuing to work towards something despite difficulty, setbacks, or slow progress. Okay. Video over. Rita said I'm cute. Like, yeah, I think so. My collection of clothes, like, I brought very few clothes here. I'm wearing, like, my dad's clothes and other clothes that I accidentally collected throughout the year, and then clothes I got from thrift stores. Like, whatever. Doing my best.